All right. Hey, Wicked Wonder. Hey, David Killens. No, now audio but no video. So here's the deal. Aside from the fact that my dogs are apparently going to fight. So here's the deal. My bitrate is not the greatest tonight, and I don't know what's up with that. So yeah, we totally should have a count for when they bark, huh? Make it rain. I make it rain for bits and subs and follows and things like that. So my bitrate is all over, or my connection notification thingy at the bottom of OBS is all over tonight. All freaking over. And I've restarted my computer, I've restarted my modem, I've restarted my router, I've restarted the switch in my house, you know, the network switch. I've restarted everything I can restart. It seems to be green and staying green right now. We'll see. So, yeah, I can totally blame the weather. I can blame the fact that it's evening and, you know, people are coming inside and probably watching TV and... oh, excuse me. Everybody's doing streaming and, you know, all that nature. All right, so we're gonna set up for bingo. FalconEye 1 bingo. We'll do launch bingo. Launch bingo. Yeah, Jay, people still watch TV. Sometimes it's on, you know, their computers or streaming, like through PlayStation or Chromecast or Amazon Fire or any other number of services, but, you know, I'm saying people are watching TV and pulling data through the internet. So, are we just listening? Right now, yes, because the test video is kind of annoying and it'll just loop, and I have the picture-in-picture so you all can see what I can see, and so you all feel like you're not missing out on anything. So yeah, for right now, you're just watching. Yeah. So right now, we're gonna do the bingo card. If you've never played Launch Bingo with us, it's kind of a really easy thing. So we're gonna put things like dogs barking, because my dogs will bark. Arianespace, because at some point somebody during the stream will say Arianespace. Any word in French. Let's see. UAE. Nominal. Liftoff. T-minus. I might actually need to get out the launch kit. So excuse me while I get out the launch kit. Here we go. Alright. So this is on a Vega. Oh, excuse me. Vega. Orbit. So this is for the... this is an Earth observation satellite for the United Arab Emirates. United Arab Emirates Armed Forces. So we'll just leave it as United Arab Emirates. Ooh, Airbus. Defense and Space made this thing, so we're gonna put Airbus on there. Yep, I have Vega on there. Sun synchronous orbit. All right, we'll make it sun synchronous orbit. I'm just trying to make sure I spell it correctly. Military. Wicked Wonder says, did I miss last night? Did I do stuff last night, guys? I can't remember if I did stuff last night. Did I stream last night? if I streamed last night, it was me doing Lego. The last evening stream I did was me streaming Lego. I waited in nothing. Was there wasn't a launch last night, was there? There shouldn't have been a launch last night. Countdown, max queue. Now I'm curious. No, there was no launch last night. FalconEye. Well, it depends on last night being, you know, where you are in the world. So. Satellite. Oh wait, what kind of separation? We'll do fairing separation, because that's definitely going to happen. Oh, you're in Wisconsin. I don't think no explosion, salty and spicy. I don't think I did any of that. Alright, so the first stage separation, second stage separation. My first night I saw Legos. Okay, so here's the thing, Wicked Wonder. We don't stream every night. We stream, our regular streams are at, 1 p.m. Eastern time, which I realize that, you know, because it's the middle of the day for you, you might be at work. So what happens is that all of those are on video on demand, and after that they're archived on YouTube. Seco, French Guiana. Ah, okay. So yeah, 1 p.m. Eastern is when we have our normal stream, Sunday through Friday. We don't typically stream on Saturdays. If we're streaming on a Saturday, it's for a very special occasion or a launch. Miss Town says being awake is overrated. Oh, the third stage is going to separate too. Separation, French Guiana. Fenmel says, still here, one more, getting close to 2 years. Yeah, you are. So here's the, what is ZLV? Here's the Cheerios, and speak. Good girl. Make it rain. I'm trying to work on her doing exactly two. She's getting better at it. And for whatever reason, the alerts aren't coming through, and I don't think I'm seeing them on screen either, so I think I broke things. Which, you know, it happens. It happens. We'll just do this. Refresh. Do that. Properties. Refresh. Because I didn't hear it, but I saw it pop up in chat. So, mobile gantry? Are those things we see? Are those things that are mentioned? Are you guys purposely trying to make it more difficult for yourself? Because you guys can make this as easy or as difficult as you want for yourselves. Fishbowl. Because she'll say fishbowl. I know she'll say fishbowl. Have I watched it? I feel like I've watched... Yeah, hold on. So let me look up the Vega rocket. I feel like I've watched a Vega launch recently. Yeah, we can do Launchpad. That's a good one. The first stage and the second stage of this is solid fuel. The third stage is solid fuel. And the upper stage is the UDMH N2O4. So... yeah, there's no oxygen... deployment... There's no oxygen or hydrogen on this one. It is HTPB, that's Hotel Tango Papa Bravo. That's a solid rocket fuel. And the very upper stage that the payload's connected to has UDMH and N2O4. So, let's see. Do they mention any specific motors? Because this is what I'm looking at right now. Fuel's a good one. That's pretty generic. Countdown. I have T minus. I feel... yeah, I already have countdown. Astro B. Let's do mix up of French and English broadcast, because that has happened a couple times. I don't remember if the launch plume is right, and I don't think there's a capsule. Salty and spicy. Animals on near launch pad. I have liftoff. I have nominal. I have any word in French. That's always easy, because they actually do the countdown in French. So you have first stage separation, second stage separation, third stage separation. Apogee? You know what? We'll put it in here. I don't think they say apogee, but we'll put it in there. Orbit. I have sun synchronous orbit, Alan, because it is being put into a very specific orbit. Sonic boom. You actually do not hear a sonic boom when it goes up because the engines are so loud. I was trying to see if they had a specific engine noted, but they seemingly do not. It seemingly does not. Computer. How about internal power? Maximum burn? It's solid fuel. It's going to be maximum burn right from the get-go. I don't even know if Mecho and Seco is really a thing to worry about, because once you light these solid fuels, you really can't stop them. You guys really want maximum burn? I've explained why it's not a great idea, but you wanna? Screw it. I mean, I'll add it. We don't like to say abort. No abort. No rapid unplanned disassembly, no scrub. weather briefing or any mention of the weather is good. A dark sky? Sure, why not? It might be nighttime there. People in traditional Arab dress. I'm doing it. I don't care. I'm adding it. Make it rain. Sure, why not? Cloud cover. Oops. I need to have that. EDT? Why would I have EDT? Why would they say EDT? I have Launchpad. Atmosphere? Sure. Yeah, a SpaceX landing is always rife for something not quite happening, but still, like, I'm not very superstitious, but I feel like that's just... I don't know, I feel wrong by hoping that somebody crashes. Engineers? Sure, because there's going to be talk about engineers. Trajectory? Sure. Tracking stations? Because they'll talk about tracking station. They don't really talk about latitude and longitude open cage that I remember. Wicked Wonder, we're going to leave off anomaly and just keep it nominal because we want this to be a very nominal things. Ground control, I have Fishbowl, which is their ground control. Hey, Falco! So I have Fishbowl. And I got lazy. I was capitalizing things and then I was like, I'm gonna stop capitalizing. Alright, so we have a lot of words here. So many that I'm gonna have to do a call sheet. I know, huh, Puck? Mock? I don't think they really say Mock. They will definitely say Max Q. Atlantic Ocean? Yeah. They'll probably say Atlantic Ocean. That counts. See, here's the thing, RefsMatt. That counts as any word in French. And I might not be able to pick that up. So if I was torturing y'all with the French broadcast, we'd be doing that. I have fuel on here. Astro B. So I'm just gonna leave that as fuel. And now you're just, torturing me with French. But yeah, if we were listening to the French if I was torturing you all with the French broadcast, if they only had a French broadcast, I'd be putting that stuff in there. But no, I'm not going to do that. Falco says I can translate from French if you want. They are going to have an English broadcast, and I know enough French to get myself in trouble. Oh, I totally forgot about that. That's how much space stuff is going on. I knew Hayabusa 2 was thinking about another landing attempt, I knew that Virgin Atlantic was going to possibly do the thing, but because I've literally limited myself to just that one webpage of these are the launches that are coming up, I miss a lot of stuff. And, when you're trying to put stuff together in a hurry, as you do, you miss a lot. So, Yeah, CosmoQuest streams usually work. Oh, you did find a note. What's wrong with the music? Well, how about I kill the music and then we don't have to worry about it. Let me find the music and I will kill the music. Ici, nous avons les diagrams modern du mouton anglo-français. It got out of tune for a moment and then it spins. I have fairing deployment. Yeah, my connection speed went way down, so the music might just be weird. Jettison, I have separation. So here's all the terms I have. I have it. I am jelly. That it's second sample land or collection landing attempt, whatever. So I have dogs barking, Arianespace, any word in French, UAE, nominal, liftoff, T-, Vega, sun synchronous orbit. I have UAE on here twice. Look at me screwing up. Let's just put UAE. Let's put armed forces. Hey, Armed forces of. No. Nobody asked your opinion. Dogs. Armed forces of the UAE, Airbus, military. Hey. Nobody's gonna say spy sat paranoid. Alright. Make it rain, because Tinker's like, if I bark, and I'll make it sprinkle for Tinkerbell. Because she did ask very nicely. Military, fairing, separation, countdown, max Q, FalconEye, satellite. Earth imaging, first stage separation, MECO, second stage separation, SECO, French Guiana, third stage separation, Guiana Space Center, fishbowl, launchpad, payload, deployment, fuel, mix up of French and English broadcasts, animals on or near the launchpad, apogee, internal power, maximum burn, any mention of the weather, dark sky, people in traditional Arab dress, make it rain, cloud cover, atmosphere, engineers, trajectory, tracking station, Atlantic Ocean, thrust. So, yeah. Yeah, I'm blaming my ISP Paranor. So, okay. I'm gonna call it good here, because they should be starting soonish. So, I'm going to hit... Where do I hit? I'm gonna hit generate. And I'm gonna open the call list in another window. Oh, look! It's you gifted a sub to Astro B! Hey! Nobody asked your opinion. And speak. Good girl. Alright, we're working on that. Space junk. Nobody's gonna mention space junk, Astro B. Alright, so here's where you can play. I'm gonna copy paste the link, and then Paranor is going to do his magic and edit the command for me. So this is where you go and play bingo. So when you open up bingo, this is what you will see. You want to click generate card. And there will be a box at the top that says, this is your own unique bingo card. Click a box to mark it, click a box again to unmark it. If you win, type bingo in chat. And don't worry about number 4 because we're not playing over numerous days. So to make the bingo card bigger, you click OK, I understand. And you can go ahead and click the free space. So I am going to print the call sheet, and hopefully I'm listening for my printer. There it goes. Okay. So yeah, so there's that. I'm gonna go grab the call sheet, and I don't know, what do you think, Tinker? Should I grab a stout? I'm gonna grab a stout. So I'm going to mute myself so you don't have to hear a whole bunch of barking while I'm up and moving around. And I'll leave you with the dogs. If I can figure that out. So, yeah. Oh no, I've broken all the things. Alright, so I'm gonna leave you with the dogs for a second. Puck is a boy and Tinker is a girl.
Greetings to all of our friends around the world, and welcome once again to Kourou, the home of the Ariane family, for today's live broadcast of Arianespace's Vega flight number 15. We're very happy to have all of you with us for the mission tonight. We're launching an Earth observation satellite. It's called FalconEye 1, and it's for the United Arab Emirates. At this hour, all the teams involved here at the space base back in Europe and around the world are gearing up for liftoff. We're on time and we're on target at just under 13 minutes to go until liftoff. Coming to you live, as always, from this building, it's the Jupiter Mission Control Center, the heart of the space base, the center of all the action, and plenty of action to come, so don't go away. We're going to move outside for a first look, a closer look at the vehicle. Vega stands 30 meters tall. She's a 4-stage solid and liquid propellant vehicle. First 3 stages make up the lower composite and run on solid fuel. The 4th is powered by a liquid propellant system. The 4th stage is also reignitable, which is important, and we'll be getting back to that. We'll be describing each stage in turn as it's functioning so you can follow Vega on her mission. Vega, of course, is the newest member of the Ariane family. Very happy to have with us tonight from Arianespace, Executive Vice President Luce Fabriguet. Luce, come on over here. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you, Josh.
You look pleased. Is it anything to do with the weather?
The weather is fine today. The winds are with us, so it's great.
Great. Okay, we have a few minutes. A couple of questions, if you don't mind. First question: today's the 15th launch of a Vega. What makes the mission so special?
The mission is very special today because of our customer. We are very pleased to launch for the first time an Earth observation satellite for Emirates, for this customer, important customer for us. And the satellite FalconEye 1 was built by a consortium with Airbus, our customer of today, Airbus Defence and Space, the prime contractor, and Thales Arianespace, the co-prime of this satellite. So we are very pleased to have all of you here today.
Can you further describe the mission, maybe some facts and figures that people can remember?
As you can see, the launch vehicle is on the launch pad with this satellite on board. The mobile gantry has been removed now, so the liftoff will take place at accurately 10 p.m., 53 minutes and 3 seconds. The launch vehicle will head towards the north, and 57 minutes after the liftoff, we will have the separation of the satellite off the west coast of Australia.
It's going north, meaning it's going into sun-synchronous orbit. Can you explain that?
You're right. It will be injected into a sun-synchronous orbit, so a circular orbit, nearly polar orbit, and it's a very convenient orbit for Earth observation, because when each time the satellite flies over a point on the Earth, the given point is receives always the same conditions from the sun. So that allows to have constant sun conditions and to compare the pictures.
Okay. In 30 seconds, in 20 seconds, Vega is well suited to this type of mission. Why is that?
Yes, very well suited because of its performance and because of its versatility, as you said before, with a restartable upper engine.
Okay. Any last words?
Enjoy the launch.
Enjoy the launch. Okay, Luce Fabregat, many thanks. Some good information there that you could keep with you for the following events, which are coming up. Now, Luce is going to go take her place behind us here in what they call the fishbowl, but she will be back at the end of the broadcast, of course, for the closing speeches. Staying in Jupiter, we like to present some of the key players who make the mission happen. Luce will be taking her place here in just a moment, but with her will be Pierre-Yves Tissier, who is the Deputy Chief Technical Officer, and next to him, Ettore Scardecchia, who's the Chief Technical Officer at Avio. Now, this is the group that will make all the decisions should anything unexpected come up before or during the launch. You may see them on the phones with their teams here at the base or back in Europe. We're going to move back outside and take another look at the gantry. The gantry protects Vega until shortly before launch, when it's removed. Now, these operations took place about 2 hours ago. The decision to withdraw the gantry depends, of course, on the weather, and the weather, as you've been hearing, is very clear. The gantry runs on rails, which means the whole thing can move away as a piece away from the launch vehicle, very convenient. Now, inside the gantry is where everything happens to Vega in her pre-flight phase. The launcher is built inside of it, one stage integrated on top of the other, unlike Ariane 5, if you're familiar with Ariane 5, which is put together in her launcher assembly buildings and then moved to her launch pad. The Vega pad and the gantry are currently being modified to accommodate the new Vega C version, which should launch for the first time next year. We'll be back. We'll have more on that coming up. 8.5 minutes, roughly, until the second Vega launch of the year. Outside, you saw the launcher waiting. Just a quick word on the weather. Those of you here with us in Kourou, you may have noticed that the sky is a little bit cloudier than it has been earlier in the week, which is very convenient for our launch because it means the winds that have been bothering us all week have died down. The only question remaining is on liftoff what the visibility is going to be like if we have low clouds, but we'll hope for the best, and we'll have to wait and see. No launch window tonight. That's because FalconEye is going into a sun-synchronous orbit, as Luce said, and to a specific point, we're going to deposit the passenger directly on its orbital slot. Telecom satellites, like for Ariane, have a long launch window, sometimes 45 minutes or an hour. All right, you know everything. I'm going to head back to the broadcast booth. While I'm doing that, take a look at a film on the launch campaign to see how Vega is put together. We'll be back.
Welcome everybody. As mission director of this VV-15 launch campaign, my role is to coordinate the satellite operation with the launch based on the launcher activities.
For the first time in the Vega campaign, the satellite inside the fairing was integrated on the launcher filled with the liquid propellants. This modification has been studied to reduce the duration of the presence of the satellite in the APCU and to optimize the fluid resources for the filling and at the same time the resources for the upper part and the fairing. Activities began on the May the 13th with the transport of the first stage of the launcher from its production area directly on the launch table. It transported vertically on a track to the launch area. Launcher and campaign integration activities were resumed on May the 20th. The second stage of the launcher, with the Zefiro 23 engine of about 23 tons of solid propellant, and the third stage of the launcher with the motor Zefiro 9 of about 10 tons of solid propellant, are manufactured in Italy in the Avio facilities of Colleferro. The stages are then transported to the launch area and integrated on the previous stage to complete the launcher.
FalconEye 1 arrived in French Guiana at Cayenne Félix-Éboué Airport with an Antonov plane the 1st of June. The satellite was transferred by road from Cayenne to Kourou until the Guyana Space Center, then it was installed in the S-1A high bay.
The fourth stage of the Vega launcher with the Avum engine has a liquid propulsion with the storable propellants. He was integrated on the launcher on June the 3rd, completing the launcher's integration after 12 campaign days. Over the next 2 weeks, launcher acceptance tests were completed.
FalconEye 1 was transferred to S3B filling area the 19th of June. Hydrazing filling of the satellite was performed by Astrotech on 22nd of June. The combined operation between the satellite and the launcher started the 25th of June by the mating of FalconEye 1 with the flight adapter in S3B. The day after, FalconEye 1 was encapsulated by the fairing. This assembly, composed by the satellite mated on the adapter and encapsulated by the fairing, is called the pack. The pack, with FalconEye 1 inside, was transferred to the Vega launch pad and hoisted inside the mobile gantry on 28th of June, then was integrated onto the Vega launcher on 29th of June.
The Vega VV-15 launcher integration campaign once again demonstrates the Avio team's effort to optimize activities and reduce launch costs.
Back in the booth, ground operations and final countdown actually began about 6 hours ago. What we're seeing here is tip of the iceberg, if you will. All of Vega's systems were progressively activated at that time, including the onboard computers. A weather forecast took place at -4 hours to greenlight the gantry removal, which we saw, and the entire launch system was ready at an hour before launch. And then there's another final weather check at -10 minutes. Continuing our presentation of the Dramatis Personae.
À tous de DDO, attention pour la séquence finale lanceur.
That's Fleur Lefebvre, the DDO. You're going to be hearing her voice all throughout the mission.
Topage 0-4 minutes.
She just called out the 4-minute mark, which is the synchronized sequence. You're going to be hearing her call out the milestones before and during the flight. In the background, you can see the green status panels. There they are on the right of your screen. Space base here covering a lot of ground, just under 700 kilometers, roughly the size of Singapore. And you can imagine a lot going on. All these activities can be summed up by these green bars, these green status panels. What they are basically is a go, no-go, red-green resume of everything it takes to prepare, launch, and follow Vega, or of course, Soyuz or Ariane. Green means okay, red means the opposite. Very simple. If we get a red in any of these areas, we stop the countdown. And we check them from time to time before liftoff, the first part of the mission. They must be green to have a go, and you can see that's the case at 3 minutes before liftoff. Roughly 1,700 people working around the space base in all. Our cameras are here in Jupiter, but many others are hard at work in many other spots. And one place is the launch zone, where the launch management teams are working under the direction of this man, the upper part and payload combined operations manager. Today, Stéphane Berger in the role. Most of their work was done earlier in the day. By the time we get to this point, the automatic sequence, 4 minutes, they, like most of us, are waiting. In all, about 100 people up there working in the launch control center, going over the final checks and the last verifications on all parts of Vega's launch system. Launch control center is about 15 kilometers away from where we are here in Jupiter. And the men and women you see are only 3 kilometers from the pad, but they are very well protected, not to worry. They're inside a blockhouse with walls about 1 meter thick. 2 minutes. And here in Jupiter, our invited guests are making their way out, as you can see, onto the terraces to watch the launch. There are 2 terraces, one on either side of the building here. Fine view for our guests on Vega's launch. Vega will launch to the north, away from us, but believe me, there's still plenty to see. Ariane 5's trajectory, and you know if you've been here, she goes east, and it takes her right over the building here. So it's a great crowd pleaser. Coming up on a minute, we are ready. 6th launch of the year for Arianespace and the 2nd Vega of the year. All the tests and the campaigns to prepare the launcher and the satellites and the base are done. We approach the last minute, and you'll hear Fleur Lefebvre.
À tous de DDO, attention pour moins 1 minute.
She'll call out the 1 minute mark.
Top H0 moins 1 minute.
All right, the final 60 seconds give us a chance to say hello to everyone taking the broadcast, to our friends in Abu Dhabi, at Colleferro, Avio, Airbus, and Thales Alenia Space. Greetings also to everyone at ESA, CNES, and Arianespace around the world, to all of our industrial partners, and all of you watching on the internet. We hope you all enjoy the broadcast. We're just seconds away from liftoff, 15th Vega mission, FalconEye 1. We'll cut away and let you hear the DDO. She'll call out the final 10 seconds. The mission is about to begin.
À tous de DDO, attention pour le décompte final. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, top. Allumage P80 et décollage VV15 avec FalconEye 1. La propulsion du P80 est nominale. Réception de la télémesure lanceur par la station de Saint-Jean-du-Marais.
Ariane 5 is a heavier vehicle, rises much more slowly, weighs 6 times as much. But Vega lifting off perfectly from French Guiana, beginning the 15th mission in her young career. Weighing 138 tons at liftoff, they call her the light launcher compared to Soyuz and Vega, but over 100 tons isn't exactly featherweight, but what are you going to do? The first stage burning now, as you can see. It's produced in Colleferro near Rome by the Avio people, then delivered here to French Guiana. You saw some of that in the video on the launcher campaign. The first stage weighs 96 tons, 88 tons of that are fuel. Most of any launcher's weight is propellant. The first stage burns its single engine for about 2 minutes before being jettisoned, and you'll see that, and you'll hear the DDO call that out. The launcher signal is, of course, being followed at all times. Right now, our first downrange tracking station on the ground is taking the signal. There's a station here at the base just behind us in Jupiter called Galileo. The second is a little downrange at a place called Saint-Jean-de-Maroni here
Séparation
in
du
French Guiana.
P80.
And
Allumage du Zéphiro 23.
the DDO has called out separation of the first stage, coming right on time, and ignition of the second stage, coming 1 second later. This is what
Début
it
du
looks like
dogleg et la
on the
propulsion du
animation.
Zéphiro 23 est nominale.
So we're into the second stage burn. Second stage is called the Z23, Z for Zefiro. Will burn its solid rocket motor for 86 seconds. And again, if you're following the mass and the fuel numbers, she weighs 26 tons and 23 tons of that are fuel. Coming up to separation shortly of the upper stage. While we're looking at people more dramatis personae, we're going to see the people from ESA. As you can see, the invited guests filing back into the hall here after this very, very spectacular launch. Looking at some of the people from ESA, Charlotte Besco, Vega is an ESA program. Over 1,000 people from 400 European countries and industries have worked on development of the new launcher. ESA was operator of the first 6 flights.
Trajectoire dégradée du Zéphiro 23.
From flight number 7 in 2016, that role taken over by Arianespace, who holds exclusive rights to market and sell the launch services. ESA remaining.
Séparation du Z23.
ESA remaining the head of the Vega team.
Et allumage du Zéphiro 9.
Owner of the Vega launch complex, of course. Vega operating at an average launch rate of 1 to 2 missions per year currently.
Perte de l'accélération.
She's the only launcher in her class now in regular production.
Séparation coiffe.
And the DDO has called out separation of the fairing. We can separate the fairing now because we've made it about 120 kilometers above the Earth. We're out of the atmosphere. Passenger now getting its first taste
La trajectoire est très dégradée.
of space. The fairing protects the passengers from the jolts and pressures of the Earth's atmosphere. A word now from Armel Girard, the Mission Analysis Technical
Trajectoire
Authority.
rotondante.
Hello, I am the mission analysis responsible for this flight. This means that I have to ensure that the flight respects the customer and the French law requirements in terms of trajectory, performance, separation, and safety. The required performance for this mission is a little bit less than 1,200 kilograms for a total launch vehicle mass at liftoff of about 138 tons. The flight of the 3 solid boosters, P80, Zéphiro 23 and Zéphiro 9, will last around 6 minutes. This part of the flight will be followed by the standard North ground tracking station network, Gallio and Saint-Jean in French Guiana, Bermuda and Saint-Hubert in Canada. Then the Vega upper stage, the AVUM, will be ignited for 8 minutes in order to inject the launcher into an elliptical transfer orbit. After a long ballistic phase of 38 minutes, a second AVUM boost for 1 minute over New Norcia ground station will allow to circularize the orbit. Once the targeted orbit will be reached, FalconEye 1 will be released 57 minutes after the liftoff.
We have been informed that I think we've lost telemetry. We have a slight telemetry loss. The flight director informing us that we have lost the telemetry link with the launcher, so we're waiting for word from Arianespace. So please wait with us. We'll see. Again, flight directorate informing us that the telemetry link with the launcher has been lost. So we're waiting for word for Arianespace on the situation, so we'll ask you to please wait with us.
So for those of you that missed it, they lost the connection to the satellite and the craft, which is highly, highly unusual. So they're waiting for word that everything is okay. Yeah. Come on, I hear words. I didn't quite catch what she said, I'm sorry. No, the Russians are actually probably tracking this too, and they may actually be helping with tracking. Keeper of Map says there was a graph earlier and the actual line seemed to be below the target line, and what's going across the bottom of the screen is that launcher trajectory is temporarily deviated, which is not the same thing as a telemetry link dropout. I don't know what's going on. This is highly unusual. Yeah, it is not ideal. This is the 15th flight of this rocket, or the 15th mission. I shouldn't say 15th flight. 15th mission of this rocket. Uh-oh.
Ladies and gentlemen, as you have seen, about 2 minutes after liftoff, around the Z-23 ignition, a major anomaly occurred, resulting in the loss of the mission. On behalf of Arianespace, I wish to express my deepest apologies to our customers for the loss of their payload and telling them how sorry I am. From the first flight data analysis, we will get in the coming hours more precise information, and we will communicate to everybody at the soonest. Again, let me present my deepest apologies to our customers. Thank you.
This was not supposed to happen. There is definitely a lot of worry in the room. And obviously the announcer isn't talking to us. And now the bottom of the screen says a major anomaly has occurred. Stand by until official statements. We don't know what happened, David. But things happened that weren't supposed to happen, and the mission has failed. You know how I'm like, no, we're not gonna, put things like rapid unplanned disassembly? Yeah, this is why, because if it actually does happen, then we would all feel terrible. Space is hard. And yeah, as Veronica said, there's heartbreak in the room, and the fact that they've cut to this screen instead of showing us the fishbowl, which is really... The forum at ResMet says the forum at NASA's spaceflight carries the chart that shows a deviation from the planned altitude rates. They've told us nothing except that it's failed, and right now they're not going to say anything more. They may say something more. They may not. It looked like it took off beautifully, and then I heard something about the first stage, or I heard 80 something open cage. I heard the number 80. And I'm not sure what was involved with all of that. So it doesn't help that 80 is also part of the first stage's name, quite frankly. So I'm going to open this link, and here is what the graph that everybody's talking about. Oh, it didn't pop up on that same screen. So give me 1 second and I will make it pop up. So in my picture-in-picture, this is the graph where it deviated and is lower. So yeah, Falco says, I did hear Dee Dee say trajectory, degraded trajectory. I'm not going to try to, my French pronunciation is terrible. And 80 kilometers would correspond to the graph, because I did hear the number 80. I thought it had to do with the spacecraft, all of this other stuff. Yeah. And these launches definitely cost millions, and yes, because they have been very successful, I'm sure they've had very favorable insurance rates, and yeah. The customer has lost their entire satellite. The satellite probably cost millions to build. I have no idea if failing at lower than 90 kilometers means collateral damage. I really don't know. There is such a thing as launch insurance. It does cover things like launches being scrubbed and satellites going, satellites not going off well, and Arnstro really knows way more about this than I do, but yes, and there is totally insurance for when these things happen. Because as unlikely as they are to happen for a lot of companies, they still happen. And yeah, it is quite possible, as DV Holes says, that the second stage just failed to light. So, yeah. Yeah, see why we don't do that, Falco? See why we don't do that? I just... And they haven't come back and said anything. In fact, my picture-in-picture stuff is wrong, because it says I'm still waiting for their... Actually, we're waiting for the Arianespace stream to come back, so... I don't think that's inaccurate. I don't think it's inaccurate. Oh. Veronica Cure says, if you are that powerful, Falco, can you wish for me to win the lottery? Oh my. Oof. And now the feed's gone black. And they disabled chat. I just have a black screen for them. So, yeah. I just... So, yeah. 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 Yeah, their YouTube is black. Now we're just waiting for official comments. I am going to, in another window, in all the windows, because I have all the windows. You baked a cake from scratch tonight. Was it a chocolate cake like you promised? All right, let me go to Twitter. There's nothing. Nothing.